Bobby Yagam, Curtis Ennis. Know that we been loyal way back from the beginning. A trusted source for the news. 79th Halas, what it is, what it do. Since Bobby Yagam, Curtis Ennis. Know that we been loyal even when we wasn't winning. A trusted source for the news. 79th Halas in your ears. You.
Awesome. The Bears.
What is going on, ladies and gentlemen, for the 291st time 79th Halas is on your airwaves. We are back, Scott and Flows. You can follow us at Barberchair Scott, F Flows, and Delaney. All of those links in the description box, man. My YouTube channel, all the Patreon, all the stuff. If you like to listen to us on Apple, Spotify, wherever, all that is in the description box right now, man. But we are here for our final live stream of the season. This will not be our final pod. Next week, we're going to be doing a off-season preview pod, I guess you want to say. But those will be pre-recorded. So this will be our final live stream of the season. Bears are eliminated. It's been 2 days since Bears were eliminated after a brutal 20-17 overtime loss to the Los Angeles Rams, who will be participating in this Sunday's NFC Championship game, going up against Sam Darnold and the Seattle Seahawks in the AFC. The Broncos fans got to be feeling like their season is over, even though it's not. Jared Stidham will be taking on Drake May and the New England Patriots in the AFC Championship game, and the winner of that will meet at Levi Stadium 2 weeks from Sunday for Super Bowl 60. I will be on hand for Super Bowl week. I will not be at the actual game, but I will be at the Super Bowl week. I will be doing a Super Bowl opening night like I did last year, and I will be doing a couple days on Radio Row. So if you're down there, holla at your boy. I'll be conducting interviews. I had like 10 to 12 interviews last year, interviewed a lot of cool athletes, legends. I plan to do the same thing again this year. So we plan to give you a lot more off-season pods. I know we said that last year, and we really didn't do that many. But we're gonna dedicate ourselves to doing this, man. But shout out to everybody watching on Twitter, on Instagram, on Facebook, on YouTube. We appreciate everybody, man. I have my Arsenal kit on for 2 reasons. 1, we have a Champions League game in 2 hours, and 2, because I'm at the acceptance phase of my Bears grief right now. Where you know the Homer meme where you go in the bushes with one logo, come out the other. I went into the bushes with a Bears logo, and I came out with an Arsenal logo. I'm taking this a lot tougher than I thought I would, and it's not actually because of the actual loss. Before Joe brings this pragmatism into us, 99% of fans feel the same way. What I want to say is I'm taking this a lot harder than I thought I would. And it's not actually because of the game. I didn't actually think realistically that we were going to win the Super Bowl. Now, emotionally, I might have talked myself into it. I did think when my immediate reaction to Cole Kmet's touchdown that sent the game overtime was 2 reactions. 1, holy shit. 2, this is our year, because it's some storybook stuff. Like where do you see stuff like this happening? Except for in those America's Games documentaries. So it's not the actual season. It's not the actual, oh man, we could have won a Super Bowl that morning. I just don't know how to act without the Bears, bro. It's been 8 months now? Like, I've been, obviously the game's been going on since September, but I've been covering this team for a year, actually. Like, I was at Ben Johnson's opening press conference, which was a year ago. I was at the free agent signings. I was at OTAs. I was at rookie mini camp, mandatory camp, regular camp, preseason, traveling. This has been I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. And in fact, it was a good season. Like, in every season that me and Joe have covered this team, we've been relieved when the season was over, because it's stressful when you got to cover a sorry team for a long time, because you get exhausted with all the losses. I could not wait for last year to be over after them 10 straight. But I had so much fun this year, and I've been on TikTok and Instagram seeing the season recap videos. All y'all who be editing these videos, y'all need to win an Oscar. And look, I am staunchly against 97% of AI. And I say 97 because 3% helps me when I make my clips on StreamYard, but that's neither here nor there. But somebody made a Chicago Bears documentary that's supposed to be like 70 years in the future with AI, and I gotta say, it got me emotional. Okay, I don't know who did that, but it was awesome. And so I just have kind of been like, what am I gonna do without the? I'm even trying to figure out how to recalibrate my content schedule because I'm like, not just with the Bears, we got 3 more NFL games. Period. I'm over here thinking about, all right, I need to be more creative with what I'm gonna make during the off season. And granted, the NFL is kind of like the NBA now, where like the NFL doesn't stop. We're going to be fed with NFL content until the NFL draft starts. And then you got that 2 month dark period before training camp starts, which by that time you got conference finals in the NBA, you got NBA finals, there'll be other stuff. Mikey said, get ready to learn rock. First of all, I'm not watching any White Sox baseball. Yeah. Y'all can. I'm not falling for the, we'll lose 87 games this year. No, I'm not. I'm not going for it whatsoever. I will not be watching Bulls basketball. I will not be watching White Sox baseball. I will be getting ready to speak football for the next 5 months. That's what I'll be doing. Okay. But yeah, I'm having a hard time dealing with it. So that's just pretty much where I'm at with it. Tomorrow, allegedly, I say allegedly because we haven't gotten the email yet, but I heard on Mully and Hall this morning that what's his name? Poles and Ben are supposed to speak tomorrow. I was hoping they speak Thursday because then I'll be able to get there. I'm not going to get there tomorrow. But that's what it is. But anyway, that's how I feel. Joe, you can hit us with your pragmatism of the world is going to end anyway. Why we waste our time worried about silly things like sports?
So, several things. I don't know if I believe in the concept of this is our year, where this is the year you do it. It doesn't happen. The idea of this is our year is like along the lines or within the universe of a Cinderella story. And Cinderella stories happen. They absolutely happen. I mean, yesterday in the national championship, we just saw a Cinderella story. That's a little different because they've been the number one team since they beat us. But that's one of the few times because in there, what they've been around since 1898 or 1899, they've never won before, but they were dominant the entire year. And when you started thinking it was Indiana's year, it came about who they were beating and how they were beating them. Dominant, beating the hell out of Alabama, beating the hell out of Oregon. Tough win against Miami. But what really gets you in the mood of thinking this is someone's year is displays of consistency and displays of dominance. Outside of that in college football, I mean, you don't really see those. This is their year. If it is, it's because they're dominant. We got 2010 Auburn, like 1950 something BYU that was like, oh shit, this is a surprise they won. But typically these Cinderella stories are playoff berths when it was unexpected. It's deep runs in the playoffs. Or someone like the 2008 Cardinals who got to the Super Bowl, but then lost to that more experienced team that has been doing it longer. So they just typically don't happen. So that being said, Bears absolutely had a chance to win this game. Going into this game, I think I had it like 24-14, Bears are going to win. And then right before the start of the game, Scott looked at me and said, man, what do you think the score is? I was like, 20-17 Rams. And he was like, brushed me up like, are you fucking kidding? I was like,
I reacted when I don't know if you remember when the Super Bowl, the Patriots, undefeated Patriots lost, and somebody said, what's going to be the score to Tom Brady? And it was like 24-17. He was like, we're only going to score 17 points. And ended up being the score.
Because from my vantage, from my position, I was like, it's not that the Bears can't go score for score with this offense. They could have. And the Rams offense is like middle of the road. It's nothing really crazy. They got solid pass rushes, people like Jared Verse, but nothing crazy. But it's better than the Bears. I was like, the Bears defense just sucks. Like, yeah, they have the most turnovers in the league. You got the mandated turnover by them. The Kevin Byard comes out of nowhere and swipes it. Absolutely. Those things are true. It exists, but the defense is bad. And that's going to be one of the reasons they lose. That was my prediction. And then going into that, I was like, they just don't have experience. Sean McVay is a Super Bowl winning coach. Sean McVay is arguably one of the best play callers and schemers in the game. I mean, they call his motioning on his offensive packages turbo motion because they're motioning 1,000 people, and you're going to have to try to keep up with them to prevent them from scheming someone open. And I was like, it's going to be like a war of attrition, and the team who makes the least amount of mistakes is going to win. It turned out it was them making the least amount of mistakes. Now, and in addition to that, the Bears have like 7 to 8 comeback wins. I don't know how sustainable that is. That's my thought myself. Like, I don't know how sustainable that is. I don't have any data which lets me know this is how teams have performed when they were coming from behind or had a trend that was unlikely to last. And then what would happen when they got to the big game? For me, it was like before the Warriors made 3 points, the 3-point shot such a utilized tool in the NBA. You never thought a 3-point shooting team would win because the issue is that 3-point shooting team would struggle to cover the team that can penetrate the lane, kick out, work the pick and roll, and it made sense until it didn't. But with this specific one, I was like, how many times must they come from behind before I'm like, man, because either those games could have gone the opposite way. So I did not believe they would win and beat a team that's experienced. Matthew Stafford's having the best year of his career. I was like, that's going to be too much. Now, certain things did shock me. The defense played very well. Puka Nacua, I think he may have finished with 60. I don't know how many yards, but for the most part, he obviously had one of the biggest catches, if not the biggest catches for them in the game. But the Bears did a good job on them. The biggest issue was they got 3 straight drives with no points scored from the Rams, and they responded with nothing. And once I saw that trend, I was like, it's not going to work out. And then when I saw Caleb through that 4th and 4 that ended up being like a 40-yard pass, I was like, that's great. But it's not going to cut it. It's not going to work. And then
you didn't say that in a moment, because you definitely said in the moment we was going to win the game after that.
You said we were going to win.
No, you said, yeah, we are. That's your exact words.
No, Scott looked at me and said, we're going to win this. And I was like, man, it looks like it. And I had hope that they would. Those are the exact words that I said. And so I had hope that the Bears were going to win. But in that moment, I was in the moment after it happened, after it ended, I was like, yeah. I was faced with the reality of like, we had questions as fans, as media this entire year. How long could they keep this up? How long would that work? There are so many questions on offense. There are struggles between the Caleb Williams and his receivers. On 2 of those picks, he expected Cole Kmet to take the linebacker or take the quarterback out a little bit more. That way it would give him room in the corner. Wooden, who was guarding the flats, wouldn't come back and go near the seam and pick that off. On the play between DJ Moore and the safety and the DB sitting in the deep secondary, you expect DJ to get in front of that corner, flatten the route a little bit. That way he can catch that pass, get a nice first down. You're in the red zone at that point. Instead, he goes deeper. Maybe expect the ball to go up. Look like he was jogging. There are so many things. And when I took the totality of those things, I was like, they're just not ready yet. That is as simple as that. They're just not ready yet. And I never believed they would win it all. That is the biggest thing that I never believed that they could. Did I believe they could have beat the Rams? Hell yeah, they could have. But what are you going to do when you're going against an insane defense like Seattle? What are you going to do when you're going against a well-oiled machine like the Patriots? I did not see them win it. And so because of that, I faced it with the acceptance like, yeah, this is what this is in the moment. Now, you can look at it 2 ways. This is the last time they'll be there, or this is the start of something big. Because every great team, every dynasty, or every just Super Bowl run, there's a loss before that. And you got to accept that reality. Because if you're grieving right now, are you for you, it sounds like you're grieving because, yeah, man, it was fun. It was fun seeing these games, fun watching. Now you don't have an opportunity to watch them anymore. But are you grieving because you think they could have done more?
No, that's not more. I mean, they definitely could have done more. They left plays on the field, like you just said. But that's not what I'm grieving. Plays on the field. Yeah, that's true. But I'm not grieving because I thought, oh, this is the season. That's not why I'm grieving. I'm grieving my schedule more than anything. I'm trying to figure out how to recalibrate what I've been doing for the last 8 months and how I'm going to switch. And also, I get like this with football, period. Even if the Bears weren't even in there. If you want to think about it, be real about it. Championship Sunday is the last Sunday of football. And what I mean by that is the Super Bowl ain't for us. And Super Bowl is not for football diehards. If you want to be 100% honest about it, the Super Bowl is for the casuals and for the people who don't watch football at all and they just got the event. You know how many people are going to be watching this game in 3 weeks from now who are just there to see Bad Bunny? The same people who are there just to see Kendrick last year. So that's what I mean. For football fans, people who wake up every week to watch Scott Hansen talk to us for 7 hours, Championship Sunday is our last day. So I get down when the NFL season's over, period. But add this on top of my team being eliminated, because I haven't felt this feeling in 7 years. I know we made the playoffs 2020, but let's we were all too much of a drunk slumber. I don't even remember much from that season at all, because it was COVID and I was drinking every 2 hours. Okay, so I don't even really remember that much from that anyway. So it's been 7 years, and I know it took me a full week to get over the double doink. For this, obviously, it's the least painful out of any of the Bears' playoff losses, and I think that's because you have the hope. Now, windows, in my opinion, in sports are very overrated, and especially in the NFL. And I say that because you never know what's going to happen next. I do believe the Bears will have better teams in this window. I'm just going to go out on a limb and think that they will have a better team next year, because I believe the Poles will do a good job to bring in whatever he needs to bring in to make this defense better. And I think the offensive core will be a year smarter, and they will know more about the system. I expect Caleb to get better. I expect Ben to get better. I am cautiously optimistic that this is the worst Caleb Williams and Ben Johnson will be. But as I think we're at better teams, I don't think it'll ever be as fun as we just watched. And the reason I say that is because of expectations. Because I believe that the second they clean the confetti off of Levi Stadium, it is now Super Bowl or bust. It's Super Bowl or bust.
Yeah. So no, and this is the least pain. I went straight to sleep after. Funny thing is, I didn't shed tears. Like in 2018, I sobbed, but I cried. I just sat there like this.
I didn't cry in 2018. I was stunned. I couldn't believe what I saw. Even today, when you look at the field goal, it looks like it's going in.
Funny thing is, after that game, you had much more of a pragmatic approach than anybody.
Because I knew Mitch was terrible. I knew Nagy was terrible.
Him and Nagy.
Yeah,
you were like,
I said both.
I don't know if you texted me or we podcasted or we called. He's like, this is what I told you. It's too fluky. They shouldn't have been in that position at all.
Exactly.
So,
I said that. I said, what? This is when I knew nothing was going to happen. It was week 10. In fact, that's the last Sunday night football game the Bears won. The Bears not won a Sunday night football game since this game. I mean, it's week 10. The Bears were like 8-1, and the Rams were like 8-1. And Goff and Mitch had a pick fest, a BLT fest. And I was watching it with my boy Lotto. He's my boy Lotto crib in Hollywood. It was me, Lotto, my man Kev. I looked both of them in the eye and I said, Nagy is a bum. And they both looked at me like I was out of my mind. And I text you, this is not going to work with this idiot as coach and this idiot at quarterback. Now, as I keep saying, Matt Nagy's a cool dude. I would have a beer with Matt Nagy every day, but he cannot coach. So that was different. I thought we could scam our way at least to an NFC championship game. This was, I was hurt because I had so much fun, but I also know that we got our guy. Me and you was talking about this last night, Joe. Caleb's highlight reel on NFL.com, NFL YouTube is an hour long.
Yeah.
Look at the national reaction. You would have thought we won that game. I've heard more about the Bears' future than the Rams winning.
I opened up my phone. You know how Twitter, at least for my Twitter, typically goes straight to my For You. I typically look at the first couple and I call it. That's about it. The first thing I see is the reaction to Caleb Williams game-tying TD. Like, that's the first thing I see. This is how you know. Chris Canty was one of Caleb's number one haters.
He got on the radio and was like, Chicago's got a quarterback. If you were talking about eye to eye, he's up there with Mahomes, Allen. Like, I was like, whoa. That's how you know that he's converted people.
Yeah. And so that's why, like, at the end of 2018, I left that playoff game with the feeling like that's probably it. I'm like, because you gotta expect the defense to be the same. That means teams have to not have film and not see
Fangio left. Fangio left. He's gonna be the Denver Broncos head coach
to expose that team for who they are. And then in addition to that, you gotta hope Mitch takes a huge leap. Mitch, how many touchdowns Mitch had? 21 and 11 or something like that?
What, 2019?
Yeah, 2018.
2018 to 2024. 2019, he didn't score a touchdown in week 4.
So, yeah, Mitch Trubisky threw 24 and 12, 3,200 yards. The expectation would then be that the next year he'd do what 30-9, and I was like, man, there's a lot of fluky shit in that year. Like for instance, you take away
six. I was about to say that 6 touchdown game against Tampa,
which was schemed by Matt Nagy. You take away that, he's sitting at 18-12. It ain't as impressive because 6 touchdown games just don't happen. So I walked away with no hope. At the end of this game, after they beat the Packers, I'm like, the monkey's off their back. The rivalry is back again. That doesn't mean they'll start beating the Packers' ass like the way the Packers beat our ass, but it's going to be far more competitive, back and forth, exchanging, splitting on the season again. And so they have a quarterback who can lead them, who can take over the offense, who can take over the game. That in of itself was like, yeah, man, it's so different. I have hope. And so at the end of the game, it sucked. Me and Scott sat there in the press box and I was like this. And then I did just like this. Then I wrote down a few notes on my notepad for, asking questions at the end of the game. Got up and I did my job. And I came back and I was like, hell yeah, man, what a season. But you got to go through this. Like the start of every championship run, every dynasty is a loss. I mean, I couldn't imagine being a Bulls fan in the 80s. Wasn't alive then. Being a Bulls fan in the 80s. And like, let's say I was 25 years old. You draft Michael Jordan. You draft the guy you've been looking for a while. Outstanding rookie year. Things change. You're like, okay, now we have our guy. We're going to make sure we get people around him. We're going to challenge everybody. I don't know what division, whatever what they were then. I know I actually have no clue what they were in. But you expect all of these. Yeah.
Same division they in now, the Central.
So,
but they used to play that division. They used to play that division 6 times though. It wasn't 4 back in the days.
Right.
They used to play 6.
It's like the Bulls' first year before the year before Mike. I think the Bulls were like 30-52. The next
they made the playoffs with an under 500 record. His first year, second year. But Mike missed the entire season though.
Right. Then the next year they're 40, 42, 50, 47. And then what had to happen? They had to go through losing in the semis, losing in the conference finals twice in a row, then running off 6, 2 three-peats. You had to go through that. And every Bulls fan who was alive as an adult then, who lived through that, would say, yeah, it was worth it. Like that heart rate means nothing to me anymore. I go, yeah, that sucked that year, but then we won 3 straight. The same way now, again, this is only if this happens, the Bears win next season a Super Bowl. I'm going to be like, oh, yeah, it had to happen. And then we're going to be looking at the AI video. Oh, yeah, that was the start of the 8 Super Bowls Ben Johnson gave us.
That shit
was so
funny.
I took everything in perspective. And I can't say everybody needs to do this. But for me, when I struggled with anxiety, I learned to just say, hey, my biggest fears, maybe they will come true. And then I rest with that thought, I sit with it, and then I move on about the rest of my day. And then over time, I get desensitized. Over time, I stop allowing it to control me. I do the same thing with sports. At the end of, when the Buckeyes were surely about to lose to Miami, I sat there at Buddy Guy's, it's New Year's Eve. I'm like, tears shedding. That's a funny thing. Ohio State will get tears out of me because I became a fan with expectations the day I watched them. I don't have this is a fun season anymore unless we win. So I guess now since I've been watching them for 26 years of my life, 27, started in 99, been watching them that long, I have had 3 fun seasons. That means 23 of them sucked or 24 of them sucked. But 3 of them I've had fun times because I have expectations. And so I took it, this is like, wow, I got to be, for me, that season was playing with house money. I got to enjoy it. I got to watch back, see what are they going to do next? What are the new ways they're going to win? But now we're going into this next season with, hell no, y'all better win. Right now, if I were to look up the Bears schedule, I'm not going, oh, yeah, this is a possible win for the Bears. I think they could probably do this. Hell no. Now I'm thinking you better beat all these motherfuckers.
But see, even with the schedule, yes, 100% you are correct. Even with the schedule, that's why I don't like doing schedule preview shows and shit because it's content and we do it. We're gonna do it again, but it's because one, we don't know what the rosters are gonna look like for another 2 months. Free agency don't even start till mid-March. We got a long time. Number one, number two. You never know how the season goes. Teams you thought were going to be good end up being bad. Teams you thought being bad ended up being good. Teams that are actually good have injuries. So that's what I always say it's even flow. But I will say one thing about the schedule, which we see a lot of Detroit Lions and Green Bay Packers fans saying. Oh, well, they're going to get a first place schedule now. Hey, idiot. You know we play the same teams, right? In your division, you play the same teams. Like we play the NFC East this year. I think it was AFC East. We play the same teams, just at different times. I never understood.
NFC East because didn't the Eagles beat everybody? No, not Eagles, but didn't the Eagles beat everybody but us?
No, they didn't play no, they did play the Lions. They did play the Lions. But yeah, we play the same team. I'm trying to think which division we play now. Yeah, it's only like 3 teams we don't play the same. Bears 2026 schedule. Let me see. Yeah, so we played some AFC East. That's what I mean. The new division we play this year is the AFC East. That everybody in the division plays. So right. Yeah, he said you just got really just talk about who plays when one time. You know what I'm saying? That's right. Really what that's about. Right.
And so for me, this is why I recognize
there's no update on partially or full, but I would just say don't expect him. Yeah, I think from what we're hearing, the team hasn't announced it, but when we're hearing, don't expect him next year. That's what we're hearing. Yeah, but go ahead. What you saying?
It's just that Ozzie Trapillo is like 6'8", 300 plus pounds, and he fractured or tore the patella, and that's just one of the worst injuries you can possibly have at that size. That's Steve. That's how you can hear the class. But the patella is one of the worst injuries that you can have. And because they said 6 to 12 month recovery, I'm assuming that's a majority or full tear, complete tear of that patella.
And really, I'm assuming 6 months before he can even rehab, like as far as like doing football activity. So right. Yeah, I mean, and Brad Biggs was on Mully and Hall this morning. And he said that the Bears should be getting are going to be looking at a left tackle. That tells me Ozzie's not going to be ready next year. But do you agree with me? As in, as soon as the confetti gets swiped up, it's Super Bowl or bust.
Yeah,
that's the mentality, and that's what I mean by you're not going to have a season like this again as far as fun. Like this year, we were just vibing and things like that. And
here's my thought: it's like a failure of a season would be you losing the wild card, you losing the division. You need to be in the conference championship. You need to be in the conference championship. And I'm literally right now thinking of the Bills when it comes to what I expect of them. And so ever since they got Josh Allen as their passer, there have been several things that happened. That first year, nothing. But next, they lost in wild card, conference, division, conference. And then this year, they lost in the division?
It's a wild card. No, they're division. No, you're right.
And so
no. They lost wild card. Didn't they?
Right.
No, I'm tripping. No, they won the wild card game.
Right.
They won the wild card.
They beat the Panthers. They beat the who the fuck beat the Panthers? Rams. Who did the Bills play?
Good question.
Okay. The Bills beat the Jaguars.
That's who it was. They beat the Jaguars.
They beat the Jaguars 27-24, and then they lost to the Broncos 33-30. So, but yeah, they out of those 7, how many years that is, they made the conference finals twice, and then they had a string of divisions and won. I don't know how many times they were number 1, but a string of getting a playoff win. I need to see that. I need to see constantly divisional. If you are number 1 seed, I need to see you in the conference. It means you won a game. If you're a wild card team, I need to see you get to the division at the very least and get to the conference. And then the sucky part about all of this is that it used to be, man, you find that QB, a top 5er in the league, there's no way you can't not go to the Super Bowl. And then you look at Josh Allen, you realize it don't mean shit if you don't have good coaching and a good team around you. Lamar Jackson.
This funny thing about Lamar and Josh fan beef. It's a Spider-Man meme. Y'all in the same situation. Literally in the same situation. Both y'all coaches fired. Both of y'all been to one AFC title game. Neither of y'all beat Patrick Mahomes.
No. Bill's been to 2 conference finals games.
What are 2?
The Bills went to the conference finals in 2024, and they went in 2020.
Okay. I don't remember nothing from the COVID season, but you're right.
I don't either. That game they lost to the. No, this was to go there.
Yeah, the AFC Championship game, right?
Oh no, sorry, I tweaked. Yeah, AFC Championship game. Yeah, they lost to the Chiefs. Damn, they got smoked. I don't remember that at all.
Yeah, I don't either. So yeah,
38-24.
Can I give a little bit of positivity on this though? This is the positivity here compared to, because I see everybody. The number one thing that annoys me is they're going to be the next Commanders. This is why I fundamentally disagree with that situation, that comparison. One, we don't have a scrawny quarterback like Jaden Daniels with one hit and he dies, okay? Caleb, first of all, you got to catch him, number one. He's a bit, like Caleb ain't fast, but he quick. Like, when I saw, what's his name? Hutch from Detroit, he was like, man, I can't get Caleb. Like, it's too hard to try to get him. Like, because he just quick. And, he can throw. Jaden is too skinny. One hit, he cooked. So you got that. And on top of that, Stevie Wonder could see that the Commanders were built for 1 year because they have the oldest roster. How you got a young quarterback with the oldest roster in the league? Like, Von Miller and Bobby Wagner ain't scaring anybody post-Obama era. Like, what are we doing? So that was set up to fail. And we all know that Dan Quinn got 1 year in his belt before he get back to being mediocre. So that, and they're in the division with the Eagles. So that is why it's a bad comparison. And then if you want to look at, the cautionary tale is the Ravens and the Bills. Both of the Ravens and Bills had defensive coaches. Sean McDermott, John Harbaugh. That's not the situation. Now, that doesn't mean I'm guaranteeing that's going to happen. But also the good thing for Caleb, he don't play in the conference with the Avengers. Okay? All the top quarterbacks are in the AFC. And when Matthew Stafford retires this year, that's one less quarterback you got to worry about in the NFC. So that's why if I want to give you...
He's retiring if he gets a
even
Super
if
Bowl.
he loses, he's retiring. That back is cooked. They almost didn't get him on the field this year. Remember,
That's true.
They almost didn't get him on the field this year. I believe he's retired regardless. So that's just why it's a cautionary tale, but I do believe that the Bears are in a good position. Now I want to go to the next topic. I want to talk about DJ Moore. When in the moment,
hold on. Before you do, I do want to comment on the Commanders and Bears comparison. My biggest fear with the Commanders is that for quite a few games, I think the best QB1 Stafford is gone. Yeah, I can see that. The biggest concern with the Commanders was the way in which the Commanders were winning, to me, was not sustainable. And what I mean by not sustainable is I'm like, this is clearly a player in his first year where there is not a lot of film and they don't know how to get around to him. They don't know how to stop someone who is as calm in the pocket he is, but can also move around. It's like you're getting a Lamar Jackson who is a little bit more tighter of a thrower than he is in year one. Year two, while Jaden wasn't bad in any of the games that he played, Jaden Daniels still wasn't impressive in any of the games that he played. Because what ends up happening, they have film on you. They have film and you can't do the things that you got away with. And the entire season for Jaden Daniels, out of the 8 games that he played, I actually like 7 games that he would play. I would give him 2 good games. I would give him that first game he played against the Giants, that game he played against the Bears was okay, was solid. Everything else was mediocre. Fumbled hella.
He threw a pick to Jaquan, and Nashawn Wright stripped him. So
it's not like he's not he's an accurate thrower. Him and Drake May, for me, are 2 quarterbacks who, like, I feel like that quarterback class has 2 different types of quarterbacks. You got the quarterbacks like Drake May and Jaden Daniels who are great within the systems that they play. When things are moving within structure, they're world beaters. And then you got the Caleb Williams and the Bo Nixes. They are going to go off schedule. They're going to go off schedule. They're going to throw some wild shit, and they're going to say, how did that get down there? Bo Nix this year gained a hell of a lot of respect from me. I'm like, one, you're 35 years old, so I'm glad to see it's finally working out. But I also realize now that he's great off structure. He can take over games because he is going to put his body on the line. He's going to get outside that pocket. He's going to use that rocket arm, but he's also going to have good technique while he does it. Those are the two type of quarterbacks. The one I want to build with is the off-structure player. Why? A structure can be taught to a quarterback. Improvisation cannot be taught to a quarterback. It's all, I don't even want to say you're necessarily born with it, but it's something you got to create or let them do earlier. Bo Nix started to learn that as he went along the line. As Bo Nix advanced in his collegiate career, you get to Oregon and you start to see, oh man, this is who he is. He's a very good player. He knows how to manipulate the pass. He knows how to take advantage of when the defense is lacking. And that is something that he developed early. And that's why it's not something, it's not like this Heraclean thing he has to do, because we go from him being at Auburn, him getting like 16 touchdowns, 6 interceptions, 12-7, something like that, to out the blue, he's 30-7, 45-3, because he started to let the game come to him, and then he started to be able to go off platform out of structure. Caleb is that same way, except Caleb always been like that. When he was coming behind Spencer Rattler at Oklahoma and then coming to USC and dominate, he is an out of structure player. He can play within structure, but you can't leave him in structure 24/7 because he's great when he's having a chance to manipulate. And so while I think that's great, while I think Jaden Daniels is a fine quarterback, because there are plenty of good within structure QBs throughout the NFL, not everybody has to be like right now. People see Phillip Rivers and all, like he's commanding the line, he's switching plays. Sure. But for a good chunk of Phillip Rivers' career, he was very good in structure. Then as he got along, you started to see more of that personality and more of him going crazy. Structure is great. I think Drew Brees was a predominant structured passer, especially when he had that time.
Don't even get me started on the world's greatest stat pattern.
I think Drew Brees was a in structure passer, and I don't know if he's in the Hall of Fame yet or no.
No, but he will be.
He will be. He's going to be a Hall of Fame, one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. So there's nothing wrong with that. But then I got to think, do I want an in structure like a Drew Brees, or do I want an out of structure like a Peyton Manning? This is not to say Jaden is Drew Brees and then Caleb is Peyton Manning. No, but Peyton Manning, first of all, the game is Peyton Manning's when he's in there. How many times you walk into the line, Peyton Manning goes, hell no, nope.
Peyton Manning is the smartest quarterback to ever play the game of football. Tom Brady had a knack for winning in clutch moments. When it comes to a quarterback mind, there's no mind better than Peyton Manning. And you see that every week when you watch the Manning cast. Yeah.
And so I think because of that, Jaden, he's great at improvising, getting outside and throwing them great plays. But I think the heft of his stats came in platform. It's here's my first read, zipping it to him. Ooh, I know I'm supposed to look to my first read in order to get that safety to crash down, and I'm gonna take it to the tight end that's going up the team.
But what you're saying, also, we got to clarify this to fans who may be fans of these teams we're talking about. That doesn't mean you can't win with them. Like, I feel like a lot of these younger fans, they act like you got to be the best quarterback in the league. Ben Roethlisberger, Joe Flacco got rings during the Brady Manning era. Aaron Rodgers got him a ring. Aaron Rodgers got more talent in his pinky finger than Brady and Manning combined. And I hate Aaron Rodgers. And how many rings he get in that time? 1. So you can still. Ben got 2. Flacco got 1. You know what I'm saying? They can still win. I don't think they're gonna be better than Caleb. Don't mean that these teams can't win rings.
I mean, think about it. For me, talent is not that high on my list. When you're going between LeBron James and Michael Jordan, who has the better talent?
LeBron.
Without question.
If somebody hate LeBron.
If somebody says who got better talent, Michael LeBron, I'm like, LeBron? 10 times out of 10. Who for me is the better player? Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan worked. He developed what he has. And he was so certain of his talent. And you knew when he got that ball, it's over with. And I take it back to Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady. You know how many times Aaron Rodgers threw over 10 interceptions in a year?
Maybe just last year.
He didn't throw 10 interceptions this year. He is the most talented QB I've ever seen, but he got 1 Super Bowl. because at the end of the day, it's not about talent. It's about mentality. It's about what you do in those clutch moments. It's about what you do off platform. And that's why I would say Caleb. And so with Jaden's issue, Jaden can absolutely get back to prominence.
Jaden has to stay on the field first. I'm very concerned for his health.
Stay on the field. He has to get healthy, but he also has to know when it's time for me, making the smart decisions, when it's time for me to tuck this rock and run, when it's time for me to throw out of bounds, when it's time for me to not take a hit, when it's time for me to take my easy read, like every young quarterback does. So the Commanders are a cautionary tale for now, but I think next year they'll be in the playoffs. So I don't really compare them yet. I think they had an unfortunate string of one. They had too old of a goddamn defense. Drake May is
I do not agree with that in the slightest, but you're entitled.
I think it's Caleb, but I mean Drake May is an MVP candidate, so you would be correct. So
I like Drake May. I think my thing with Drake May is what you were saying earlier. I kind of feel like dude from Dexter. Something's off. And I just can't put my finger on it. And I saw some of it in the game against the Texans. Speaking of quarterbacks, CJ Stroud. Bruh.
We're not going to talk out of respect.
And he's a Buckeye.
At Ohio State University. We're not going to talk about this.
But for the love of God, I know the Texas defense was hot after Sunday. Yeah. He was hot. He said because his name is Drake. That might be part of it, Mike. That might be part of it. Caleb is a good wire. I'm guessing Drake is better than that. I don't agree with you, brother. But like you said, you're entitled to your opinion.
Well, first off, I want to say I agree with the opinion. That's a solid opinion. I don't think you can have any stats to not agree with that. Drake May had an outstanding season. If Drake May won the MVP, I would be totally on board with that. Because what you did with that page, what do you say?
They're giving that stat.
Oh yeah, they are.
Because one thing you got to know, NFL MVP coming narrative. Them old white folks who vote not giving it to a dude in the second year.
Right. Going from being 4 wins last year to 14-3 this year, winning your first 2 playoff games, and then you have your second-year quarterback who is throwing 31 TDs, 8 interceptions, 4,300 yards. He absolutely would be my MVP candidate. Obviously, Matthew Stafford is Matthew Stafford. He's older. He threw 40, blah, blah, blah. But so, no, I think I think as of right now, it is okay. And I would agree that Drake May is the better young quarterback. If I had to, the Bears get to play trash, and you get to play the Vikings. But if I had to rank, I would say May. I would say
to be fair to the Vikings ain't the Jets and the Dolphins. The Vikings still won 9 games and shit.
The Dolphins have had a better last 5 years than the Vikings have. But if I were to rank it, I would go.
Can I say something about this call right here? The last call of the Bills game. Look, I would say this: the NFL needs to get consistency because that's an interception. That play that happened in New England should have been one, and that strip of Devontae Adams on Sunday should have been one. So I agree with you on that.
Yeah.
There's got to be some consistency with these play calls.
So I'm going to say something that is not popular.
All right.
Josh Allen is a very good friend of mine. I was going to do the Stephen A. Smith. With the Devontae Adams call, that was a catch. Because the ball, so when they mean by secure is that ball is here and it ain't moving. Nothing's happening. It's staying here.
But here's the thing. But that's the same thing.
Let me finish. So it stayed secure. In that Bills game, that ball was doing this the entire time. And because that ball was doing this the entire time, he never had possession. The knee was down, but the ball was here. When all of a sudden the possession starts to change because it's still moving, the possession starts to get established by the defender because he's still moving, the ball comes out. Because of that, for me, that was a crystal clear interception. I think the NFL's, and funny thing is Joe Burrow, the nigga ain't tweeted in eons. He came out and said, do people not realize what's the difference between these two? So, yeah, I think the catch with Devontae Adams was a clear-cut catch because the ball was secure the moment the knee was on the ground. When I forgot that other player's name, Josh Allen threw it to, the ball was never secure. There was never an established possession. But the moment he starts to roll, that ball gets taken out. That ball's starting to go whoop. And so the NFL, in my point of view, needs to start doing Twitter, IG, YouTube videos and say, hey, let's talk about these plays. This is what we mean by possession. The ball needs to be secure and tight. And the thing is, this is the NFL's own doing. Because, Scott, you remember the rules back in the day. The rules back in the day were it wasn't no football move. It was like you look forward, you take 2 steps, and it's like, all right, now this is a play forward. So if you drop it after that, it's a fumble. Now they just say football move, and then you're like, who the fuck decides what a football move is? And so because the messaging is so bad, I think both of those calls were correct.
How much more time do you have left? So I know which topics we got.
I don't teach till 1:50.
Okay, all right, cool. You got time. All right, so I want to pivot to DJ Moore because I want to talk about DJ Moore. First of all, Devonta is hilarious because it makes you sound like when Jerry Jones be like Micah. But speaking of Michael Irvin had to put that belt up yesterday. Ethical hoops in the national championship game last night.
Let's talk about Big Ten football.
Ethical Big Ten football.
Kirk Cignetti had a 3rd and 8. Do you think he did a play action pass? Do you think he did an in route to the
he put a play action pass up a
did a halfback dive for 10 yards? Halfback dive 10 yards.
Play action passes.
My man
play action passes off of pussies.
Kirk Cignetti said it's 3rd and 15, and guess what? I want to establish the run. That's Big Ten football, brother.
Big Ten football.
In 32 AD, the Lord Jesus commissioned St. Peter to create football. And then in 35 AD, St. Paul created the Big Ten Conference because now, ethical hoops are back.
Ethical hoops are back. Damien, this is exactly what we're going to talk about too, about DJ, blaming for the run and catch or Ben not taking points. So here's my thing on this. In the moment, I felt like DJ Moore betrayed me. In the moment, I was like, how could you do this to me? I even tweeted, I can't believe, I tweeted like 45 minutes after the game. I can't believe DJ sold. It was me, Joe, and I'm not going to name one of our other colleagues, but it was me, Joe, and somebody else in the Bears beat. We were walking back from the interview room, and I told both of y'all, this is the type of shit that gets you traded. Now, a couple days later, he did quit on the route. I don't want to say he didn't quit on the route. First of all, props to Caleb for not throwing his wide receiver on the bus. There was miscommunication issues. And I don't want to take away from the Rams defense. I want to keep saying that. Shula had a good game plan. I don't want to make it look like I'm a meathead fan. Oh, they didn't play defense. We just made a mistake. You made a mistake because the defense was ready. And so I gotta give the Rams defense, I think they had a great game plan. But I from what I heard, now this has not been confirmed by the team. From what I heard, it sounded like DJ was concussed. And he shouldn't have been out there to begin with. And this is what I've been hearing. And also, he didn't speak to them. He wasn't in the locker room after the game. And he wasn't at the locker room cleanup, which tells me one or two that he's injured. So that is what I'll say. And even if he did, even if there was miscommunication on the route, whatever, I just can't find myself yelling at DJ too much. For one, he had a touchdown that game. 2, he had a 3rd down miraculous catch. He eliminated the Packers last week. And he had the catch that eliminated them, from to win the NFC North. So I just can't go. I know he's Bears fans' favorite person to blame, but every man on that offensive side of that football are the reason to blame for that loss. It's just that simple. Ben Johnson needs to get more creative with his play calling, especially in the red zone. Caleb got to be more accurate. You know what I'm saying? Those 3 picks, we can blame certain things. He still threw them. So he got to take some blame for that as well. I feel like Kyle Monangai and DeAndre Swift had heavy feet in that game. So there's everybody on the offense can blame. This is what I said about not taking the points. And this is what I said when they hired him. Shout out, I got 312 Darius because he tweeted this the moment we got him. Everybody loves having a Dan Campbell type head coach until it's time to be Dan Campbell. You got to live and die when it comes to aggressiveness. When you make the 4th down touchdown, it was a great call. Balls. That's what kind of stuff you want from your head coach. When he misses it, take the points. It's what I had no problem with him going forward on 4th down in the first drive of the game. Because guess what? Rome, you should have caught him. Okay? Rome catches that ball and they win the game. I don't really have that much issue with it. To me, the problem on Sunday was execution. You know what I'm saying? That's just pretty much all what it was. We can sit up here and Monday morning quarterback it all day. I saw Ryan Clark say on first play, the Bears lost the game because Ben Johnson didn't go 4 for 2. Why on earth would Ben Johnson go 4 for 2 after that Cole Kmet touchdown? Taking all the air out of the building if he'd have missed it. And on top of that, guess what happened? The Bears defense got to stop in overtime. This is on the offense. And what have we been saying all year, Joe? Eventually, you're gonna have the bill comes due. What did Mordo say on Doctor Strange? The bill comes due. And that's what happens in January and February. That was my biggest issue, was eventually the Bears did not play the complete game. The offense plays well, defense doesn't. Defense play well. That was the best defensive performance I've seen in 7 years from this team. Everybody's like, Jaquan was hooping, re-sign him. The reason Jaquan ain't gonna come back, because Jaquan don't hoop like that every week. If he did, it would be a no-brainer. But that's the reason why he's probably gonna be a Jacksonville Jaguar or something like that, because he don't do that consistently. So I think when you lose, you go back, you try to figure out how you lose. At the end of the day, this is an offensive loss. The consistency, the fine margins are the reasons that they lost the game. And that's something that it's not a personnel issue. It's time. They'll get better at it next year. Now, this offseason was about introducing the playbook to Caleb in the offense. Now it's about the fine margins, because as you see, the fine margins will send your ass to Cancun every year. And that's pretty much where I'm at with it. DJ is one of many people to blame, but I feel like singling him out and saying trading him is typical Bears stuff. And the Bears fans, we act like we're the only team that ain't supposed to have a surplus of weapons. And I don't know if you've seen Roma Dunze this season. I ain't that comfortable getting rid of DJ with Rome dropping balls. So that's how I feel about the DJ thing.
So when it comes to DJ Moore, I do not know if he was injured in that last play. I do know him like every receiver in the history of the NFL. I mean, if you know or assume you're not the number one player on that, or the number one the primary read on that play, you're probably not going to go as hard as you should have. Not every single receiver is going to come off the line, burst it, and then have that for the next 15 yards. It's probably not going to happen. Now, typically you would see DJ do that. Okay, let's say there was a go route. He assumed he was third on that read, and so he gets about that 5, 6, 7, 8 yard burst, and then he jogs a bit, sees the ball, picks up speed. That's normal. This one, he took off and then just jogged the whole way across. I don't know why. I don't know if he thought his job was to maybe take a safety with him, clear out for someone who was underneath. I don't know. And I haven't seen all 22 yet to really make a comment. So I don't know what his call was. It was bewildering to see. Now, if he was sitting there concussed, then yeah, that you have an explanation for what was going on. But DJ has done too much this year, has done too much in his Bears career for me to just shit on him and think. And so I would absolutely not take him away. And Roma Dunze has acknowledged that this wasn't his best year. He needs to go back to doing what he does, taking what they can from there. And also, when it came to those running backs, part of that is when it comes to getting 1 yard with a running back, it's so much easier for a defensive line to defend that, because they know I don't have much time. I need to come across this line as hard as I can at this angle, not even thinking if they're going to pass, but that they're going to run and I can commit to it. And then you have to get 1 yard or half a yard. It's why the tush push is such an innovative play, because all you have to do is go from here to here, this amount of space, and you're already there. You don't have to take the ball, turn around, hand it off. You're already there. When you take it off, turn it off, you already have given up space, which is why for me, in them like half a yard, I'm QB sneaking, I'm tush pushing. It is an automatic play. What am I doing? It should be that every NFL team gets it easily. Now, I can understand on 3rd and 1, me doing a halfback dive, hitting that A gap or hitting the B. But on a 4th and inches, 4th and 1.
Orlando said Reagan era ball.
You know what I'm saying? A 4th and inches, 4th and 1. I might do a halfback, a fullback dive before
a fullback dive.
Shout out to Indiana. Back. Indiana ran a fullback dive for the touchdown or for a first, and I was like, this is ethical hoops. This is what our forefathers did. Our forefathers, the quarterback would throw 8 interceptions in one game, but it's fine because we're averaging 5.3 yards on the ground. But I say all that to say
about this comment real quick. If Ben Johnson would have went for 2 and missed, he'd have been called every name on God's green earth. Oh, he killed momentum. Believe your defense. They've been getting stops all night. There's absolutely no reason he even thought of going for 2. Even though he did say he thought about it.
I would go for 2.
Don't run tush pushes. Because this tush, I don't know why we don't run tush pushes.
I'm not a go for 2 person at all.
I'm not either. Call me soft. I am not a go. I have played way too much Madden 2005 in my life to be going for 2 just right. That's only few times where I went for 2 in Green Bay, and if Caleb didn't get picked off in Lambeau,
regular season, sure,
and that ball lands in Cole Kmet's head, we getting out of here with a dub. Or if it's just a game where my defense can't stop me, I'm going for 2. But in that situation, that defense proved time and time again we're getting stops. And guess what? They got to stop. The Bears won the toss, and they said, nah, we're going to kick it off, and they got it. The Bears were 15 yards away from Cairo Santos' field goal range. I personally would have kept running the ball, but I can't get mad at him letting Caleb throw. That's just what happens in the playoffs. Fine margins, bro. They kill you every time. But
yeah,
go ahead.
So I wanted with the 2 as well. Hope that dude was good. Yeah, you got OT. My thoughts or my things next year for Ben Johnson needs to work on tempo, moving with tempo. I think he did an okay job, but sometimes coming out the gate, I don't need a quick score. Like if I'm going to get the ball first, take my time. Give me a 7-minute drive. Start off with a nice run. Maybe switch it up with the counter. Maybe go to a play action pass. But I don't need to just constantly just get up there and score. I can take my time. After that situational routing, on that 4th down, that 4th and 4, why were they in the end zone? All I needed was 4. Get them 5, 6, 7, 8 yards.
Are you talking about on the Cole Kmet one?
Yeah. Now, when he flushed out of the,
I don't know what the play was like though, because that pass rush came quick. I don't know if
those routes went deeper than 5, 8 yards, bro. I saw them all. Cole Kmet, for instance, when Caleb comes off the line, when Caleb is rushed off that line, he's in the end zone. I'm like, they don't even need to be there. You don't need to be there. You need to be 5, 6, 7, 8 yards upfield. So I would do that. Second, establish the run constantly. I don't care if it got killed early in the game. Keep doing it. Indiana yesterday was a prime example of so what? Kirk Cignetti puts his eye like this, looks down and says, halfback dive, 3rd and 8. Now, I don't want to be halfback dive.
I've never seen a Pittsburgh Steelers coach more than Cignetti. Like, they need to interview him.
For sure.
For real.
I hate to see 1st down, Caleb Williams, either he's sacked or he's incomplete pass. Run the ball. No. My philosophy is, dog, the moment I don't get a good 1st down pass, the next 2 pass downs are passes. Unless I see a formation, I see the way it's schemed, I said, okay, the D-line has too many splits, I can pick up about 4 or 5. I'm going to typically always pass. So he needs to get better with establishing the run situationally is correct. Next up is a hot take. It's a hot take. I was talking to our homie Mikey today, and I got to read the exact text I sent to him so I can show you what I meant. We were just saying, he was like, hey, what do you think about Ben needs to do these certain things? And I said, it might sound crazy, but Caleb needs to have the flexibility of a Peyton Manning in the offense. Now, I'm not stupid. Caleb does not have the football mind of Peyton Manning. I don't think anybody has the football mind of Peyton Manning. But what I see about a lot of quarterbacks do is say, oh, Caleb, so-and-so, what do you think about the play? Oh, it's not my job to call the plays. It's the job of the coach. I think Caleb needs to have as much trust from Ben Johnson as half of what Peyton had. Caleb needs to be able to start rerouting and catching game. Caleb needs to start changing plays at the line. He needs to start adjusting to it. And not simply hey, this is our predetermined, or we're going to run left here. Or no, we're going to switch right, we're going to run right. Or no, we're going to switch from what we had to what we planned. He needs to be able to go, okay, this is the tempo of the game. Hey, coach, I'm thinking of running this. Hey, I see them lined up here. If he's on the headset, if it's a timeout, he walks to the huddle up. Then, coach, I see him run this. Let's run that. For me, it's like when Nick Foles walks up to who was the coach of the Eagles when they did the Philly special?
Doug Peterson.
Doug Peterson. Drew Peterson was a murderer, but Doug he walks up to Doug Peterson and goes, "Want to go Philly, Philly?" And Doug goes, "Yeah, that's what I mean." Obviously, Nick was a veteran, and he's like, "Fuck it, Nick, I'm here already." But I want to see that. I want to see Caleb have command of the offense and the respect to do it. In that first year, that's not going to happen. It's not going to happen.
Mike preach. I need Caleb to run more too, bro. He be blowing me when he don't run.
Caleb is a pass first at all times. So he'll run back to get some passing yards. The moment I see that that corner clear out from the flats, the moment I see that D-line, that edge rusher go too far upfield to sack me,
I'm going.
And I don't see anybody open, that's a lane. Take off. Take those yards. Caleb should probably start getting 400, 450 plus yards yearly from running. And honestly, that's something that I noticed from his competitor, his peer, Jaden Daniels. Jaden Daniels going to take that if you give it to him.
But even if you do, then one thing he has to stop when he sets, go out of bounds, because that's how you get cracked. Remember, he got hit against Pittsburgh. You got to make a business decision. That's how you can get hurt.
Yeah,
like straight up.
My really opinion on that is that the moment Caleb gets out that pocket, you need to work to find somebody. And the moment you don't, bro, get out of bounds, throw it out of bounds. You have that right. But he does need to take more of. He needs to make more of an effort to continue to rush more. And I think about Jaden Daniels' first year, he rushed for like almost 900 yards. I don't need that from you. I just need you to get about 450 because you need to take those running lines. They do that. I think the offense will improve significantly.
Yeah, he had 388 this year. So, thoughts on the future? I know everybody talk about the future. That's been the main talking point these last couple days. I would say this. Nothing is guaranteed in the NFL. The NFL stands for not for long, and the Bears still do play in the toughest division in football. And on top of that, yes, we are NFC North champions, but they definitely did go 2-4 in the division this year. That needs to be changed immediately. There needs to be an emphasis on establishing dominance on your division. And this is a good point to go with the future. He said, thoughts on the wide receiver room. I still believe Rome has true wide receiver in him. Bird, in my opinion, is ready to take DJ spot. DJ Seabass about this time to move on. I don't move on from DJ more. I just don't. First of all, you can't cut him because you have too much dead cap. I don't think you're going to net enough in a trade that would justify getting them, to do that. He said, I need my day. I love Jade. If Jade's playing, that means people hurt. And we don't need no more of that. I think, honestly, with the receiving core, it's just about continue to learn the system. The Bears' number one option is not going to be a wide receiver. It's going to be Colston Loveland. It's just Colston Loveland set the most records for a rookie tight end in the postseason in NFL history this year. It's going to be Colston Loveland. Just 100%. Would I include DJ? They're not gonna want DJ. If you're trying to get a Max Crosby or a Myles Garrett, they're not gonna want almost 30-year-old DJ Moore. They're gonna want picks. So that's why I'm not on team get rid of DJ, because I don't think you're gonna net him enough. Now, if somebody is stupid enough to give you a first round pick, I would drop him off at O'Hare myself. I don't see that going. Zacchaeus, Brad Biggs said today he wouldn't be shocked if OZ comes back on a reasonable deal, depending on what the market's like. But to me, the pass catching would be. He said he thinks that OZ and Bayer will be back if it's a reasonable deal. Yes, there's going to be some restructures. We'll get to that in a minute. But I believe the pass catching unit is just about continuing to learn the offense and perfecting the fine margins, and the drops have got to go. The drops have got to go. But your number one option is not going to be Roma Dunze. It's not going to be DJ Moore. It's not going to be Luther Burden. It's going to be Colston Loveland. We are seeing the third generation of a QB tight end number one. We saw it with Brady and Grump. We saw it with Holmes and Kelsey, and we about to see it again with Caleb and Colston. And Joe, you asked Caleb a question about Colston all the time. His eyes light up like a little kid when you talk about Colston Loveland. Colston Loveland is a mismatch nightmare, and he's going to get better. And Billy Ice, you hit the nail on the call. You hit the nail on the I don't know what's fucking. You hit the point.
Nail on the head.
Nail on the head. All Luther got to learn is the playbook. Once he gets the playbook memorized, God bless. God bless. And I don't know if Rome is going to be number one receiver material, but I also I'm not giving up on him. I think if you're giving up on Rome, you slow. But next year's make a break. And I also do Rome missed 6 weeks. Who knows what? He was on track for 10 touchdowns and 1,000 yards receiving before he got hurt. He had 6 touchdowns this year. He had like 700 yards receiving, something like that. And also, I know it don't seem like it, he made play of the year with Caleb on the 4th and 8th. You know what I'm saying? It's the Bears' future's bright. Everybody, look, this thing about the NFC North, though, why it can turn. I don't know what quarterback Kevin O'Connell is going to get. Kevin O'Connell was a great coach in an impossible situation. I heard people say, go get Aaron Rodgers. I don't know if you see Aaron Rodgers this year. The man gonna die. Okay, it's just I would want nothing more than his old ass come back. Come back, please, so you can get these hands twice a year. I would love nothing more. So yeah, you got that situation. I think the Packers are in a situation now that Matt LaFleur has security, that they're gonna be looking at Jordan Love. Because Matt LaFleur, like, if one of us go, it ain't finna be me now. It's finna be you. So they're gonna be looking at him more intensely. I think Detroit, I know Detroit fans are upset, but I think Detroit is much easier to fix than people are giving them credit for. Now, their offense, I don't know. That offensive coordinator hire was stupid. They got Arizona's offensive coordinator. I don't know if you saw Arizona this year. Not good. Okay. Like, Jared Goff is a solid quarterback, but I think you need a great offensive coordinator to get the most out of Jared Goff. Ben Johnson got the most out of Jared Goff. I don't know what they're doing like with that, but I still think Detroit would be a threat if they can rebuild the offensive line and get Hutch some help on the defensive line. And that's easier said than done. If you're a free agent and somebody comes to you and says, do you want to play for the Chicago Bears or Detroit Lions? Playing with a better quarterback and an offensive coach in a better city. Where do I go? That's the problem that they're going to deal with. And I'm not just saying that as a Bears fan. That's reality. So the NFC North is going to be tough, but the Bears, what they accomplished this year, a lot more people are going to want to play here. And the messed up thing for NFC North, this is the worst that Caleb and Ben are going to get. So that's why I would say with that on the future. But to me, when we talk about number one receiver debates, all that don't mean that Colston Loveland is your number one. So as far as the future is, I have an optimistic. I feel like you can never say what's going to happen, but I feel like the Bears are in the position to be here every year. Now, there's going to come a year where you're just off it and you don't miss it, and you miss it. Detroit had that year this year. Yep. Kansas City had that year this year. Well, you just off it and you just miss the playoffs. Nothing goes right. I don't want to hit him Mahomes' injury. They're going to miss him before he got hurt. They're losing that game, 30-7 or something like that when he got hurt? He shouldn't have been in the game to begin with. So you're going to have that year. But I do believe as long as Caleb and Ben are here, people are going to want to play here. And over the next 7 to 10 years, you'll at least be in the conversation. And that, to me, is all you can ask for as a fan when it comes to the future.
Yeah, for me, my specific take on it is that I absolutely, there are questions, things have to change. Bears have to do certain things. I think with more continuity, because now you're going into year two of a good offense, an established offense, one that has the skills to make it. And right now you're trying to find out the guys. Like, for instance, you were talking about the Lions. The Lions, it's a better situation than a lot of teams are because the Lions know they have the talent. They've got someone, a speedy receiver like a Jamison Williams. They got a very, very talented tight end like Sam Laporta. Two very good running backs in Demo and Jahmyr Gibbs. And you got a receiver also like Amon-Ra St. Brown, who's a great possession receiver, has great hands. And you have a good quarterback like Jared Goff. And so if you get a competent offensive coordinator, it can work. Because even with Detroit having their issues this year and not making the playoffs, they still had a really solid offense. I think we saw it maybe in less spurts that we wanted to see, but they were good. They played well. They got the job done when you wanted them on offense. And I'm pretty sure the Lions were ranked right next to the Bears, like 5 and 6 when it comes to total offense. So they were fine. But they were searching for that rhythm. And it seems like the Lions this year, they couldn't get you with speed, they couldn't get you, period. And they have to learn how to get around that. With the Bears know that speed is not their game, but they also know they have very good receivers who can get around the edge, tough running backs. And they have a quarterback who can make plays. And if you don't get him in that pocket, he's going to get around you. And so you're going to have continuity. I doubt Declan Doyle goes anywhere now. I don't think so. But now that you have continuity, what are you going to do with it? Because you lost Eric Bieniemy, running backs coach, very good coach. I'm happy that he's back as a coordinator. He deserves a head coach job eventually. Then you're going to go oh, wow, Friday is going to be remote learning. Thank God. And so then you're going to what do you do now now that the team is in the second year? Start to wonder and start to think, okay, now Caleb knows who his guys are. He knows in that clutch moment DJ is going to make that catch outside of the miscommunication that he had with him, because even I was looking at Brad Biggs say it's overblown, it's miscommunication. That happens, man. As much as it sucks, it happens. You can't be perfect 100% of the time. I didn't see Tom Brady throw a back-breaking interception in a game because of a miscommunication with the receiver. Unlike Tom Brady, though, Caleb wasn't on the sideline cussing him out, but that's besides the point. it just takes time for them to figure out what it is. But now that you're in year 2, expectations are going to come. Caleb has to be able to make sure that he is on the same page with them. It seemed like his connection with Luther Burden and Colston Loveland was the best because it seemed like they understood where he wanted them to be. Even when we look at that third down play against the Packers, in which he finds Monangai, Luther Burden knew to put himself in a position. Once he saw Monangai was that guy, he set himself up right next to that backer and that DB, took the block on, immediately got sent back, but it was enough to get Monangai through. That sort of intangible understanding where I need to be for the quarterback and for my fellow skill players is a skill. When it comes to him and Colston Loveland on that 2-point conversion, Colston Loveland realized, okay, I got a mismatch on me with the linebacker. I know that first step is going to take him out. Linebacker makes that first step, bam, he switches, gets the ball, he tucks, that's immediate 2-point conversion. Now he needs to develop that with Rome. Now you're thinking he's had Rome longer. He has. Rome has been a security blanket for him, but Rome still quite doesn't know where Caleb wants him to be. DJ Moore most of the time seems to know where Caleb wants him to be, but DJ Moore also realizes that he's not. There's really in this offense, there's not even really a number one receiver. It's like 6 guys with 600 yards, and so because of that, it's going to be some fluidity with that. So now that I'm pretty sure they know their top 3 receivers, DJ Moore, Rome Odunze, Luther Burden, of course, including Colston Loveland, who is the number 1. We know who he's going to be throwing to. The only thing that they have to work on is getting that blindside tackle, because with respect to Ozzie, I don't think he's coming back this season. It's just that's a very difficult thing to come back. Maybe it's time to bring in a younger player again. You got veterans on the line, so you don't need to rush to get yourself a veteran tackle. The benefit of a veteran tackle is a veteran tackle will know technique, continuity, experience more. But a young tackle can work fine in this situation. The real issue for the Bears, because we're not in year 2 of Caleb where it's like, man, they got film on you. They had film on you, and Caleb just got better.
By the way, we're going to answer your questions in just a minute. We're going to close the show up and answer your questions. So
they're not in year 2 of like, man, they got tape on you. He got better in year 2. Whereas somebody like Bo Nix, I think threw the same amount of it, threw less interceptions this year, slightly less touchdowns this year, but Bo Nix got better at taking what the defense gave to him. Both quarterbacks did. That's if I had an opportunity or a thought, do I want my quarterback to be a world beater in his first year like Jaden Daniels, or a good quarterback in his first year, much better in the second like Bo Nix, or like Caleb? I'm gonna take the Bo Nix and the Caleb. Caleb had a solid year last year, great for Bear standard, but solid outside of that. Bo Nix had a good year last year. This year, though he didn't have as many touchdowns, he looked better. He looks more comfortable. I don't want world beater quarterbacks that first year. I'd rather have the Peyton Manning 29 touchdowns, 28 picks year, knowing you're going to get to that. So I think the offense is at least with their worries, but they do have some continuity and consistency to get up to. The real big issue is going to be that defensive line.
Yeah, man. See a couple questions before we get our last segment out. So what happened to the run game last part of the season? Yeah, I think a lot of that had to do with I think Kyle Monangai, just from my opinion, I think he kind of got like a little bit of rookie legs towards the end of the season a little bit. I think a lot of had to do with play calling. And I do believe some games forced Ben out of the running game. But more importantly, it kind of goes with what you were saying, Joe, earlier about Ben having to find consistency. Sometimes he gets too run heavy and he takes the ball out of 18 hands. Sometimes he gets too pass happy and he takes the ball out of Monangai and DeAndre Swift's hands. So that's something that I think was the issue. Said the Lions should have got Mike McDaniel as the offensive coordinator. I knew the Mike McDaniel thing was just him trying to see what the layout was like. There's way too many job openings for him not to get a head coaching job, in my opinion. Said give me an LT because Tooney and Raji. Yeah, first of all, Joe Tooney did a tremendous job on Sunday. Tremendous job on Sunday. A lot of people were nervous about that. I was like, bro, if you can start for the Kansas City Chiefs in the playoffs, in the Super Bowl, you'll be fine. Now, having said that, I do believe that Ben is going to find a veteran, probably a veteran guy to hold it down left tackle, or they might draft left tackle. Either way, I think that's going to be – I think the starter is going to be a vet, and maybe they'll draft a developmental guy to compete for Ozzie when Ozzie gets back. It says, man, Brady and Gervon are just not it sometimes be done. I personally thought Brady played solid when he came back from injury. Gervon is just a depth piece. You know how I feel about that. Brady just signed a new deal. So the most I can see is a restructuring. There's going to be a lot of guys restructuring. Let's see what else we said. It's Komet man. Now I thought Komet had a great year. And y'all know I'm not one of the biggest Cole Komet fans. I don't. Maybe a restructure for him. I do think there's always a surprise cut every year. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying he will be, but I think he'll be here. So who needs DJ Moore the most?
When it comes to Cole Komet,
needs DJ Moore the most.
Right. When it comes to Cole Komet, my biggest issue is I don't know what Smythe. I don't know what Smythe will be a good, backup to Caleb. Smythe is 30 years old. Of course, he's been in Miami Dolphins for the vast majority of his career, but I don't know if he will be that guy behind it. Bear in mind, he's had a few years where he's had about 300-400 yards. So it's not that he's not incapable, but I'm just uncertain if I would want him to be in that spot, especially when I thought Cole Komet in 350 yards, like 2 touchdowns on the year, I thought he was fine. It's a step down from what he's used to. I mean, his first year or second year, I think he caught like freaking 60 passes. You're not getting that no more. That's going to Cole. That's going to Colston. But when they called him, he did good. He was a possession receiver. Like, if I can think of any player on the Bears to catch that heave at the last minute, Cole would be right up there with all of them. So I would keep him too.
And if everything went right in overtime, he has the biggest catch of the year on 4th and 4. So I'm 4th and 4th and 4. I'm cool with Cole staying. I do think Cole will stay. Can you net any? You're not getting anything from Cole Komet. You're not getting anything. Do y'all think we should bring back Monty? His line's looking, let him go. I know. Leave him where he's at. As we wrap this up, what's your favorite moment of the season?
Want him and Manunga similar runners. I don't want 2 Manungas.
DeAndre Swift got another year on this deal. And just keep him there. Yeah, and maybe draft another back for when.
Right. He gets his first 1,000-yard season with the Bears. And right now he's kind of, at least for the purpose of the Bears, because you also have a young player like Kyle Manungai. He's a sweetheart deal for the Bears. It's $8 million a year. You can deal with that.
I just want to ask Bears fans, what is y'all hard on with getting DJ Moore out of here? Like, I honestly want to know what's the beef with DJ Moore. I feel like this is going on. Like
it's somewhere to place the frustration that folks have. That's
But even before this game, like ever since the end of last year, you've just been one DJ Moore out here. Do I feel DJ Moore is like a number one? Do I think DJ Moore is like Justin Jefferson? No, but I feel with this offense, there's no reason to just get rid of him. Like I said, now if the Titans want to throw us a first rounder, by all means, I just don't think you're getting a first round pick for somebody who's approaching 30. I think first of all, you can't cut him because the dead cap will be way too much. That's number one. Number two, I don't believe the haul that you would get for him is worth the production that he gives you. Now, if you just get, I just can't pass this up. If the Titans are like, yo, we need DJ Moore and we're gonna give you 3 seconds and like a third, I'll drop him off O'Hare myself. I just don't think you're gonna get that. So, and also, Mike, I have to see way more from Rome before I get rid of a guy who is delivered for the most part this year. You know what I'm saying? And, there's so many other ways you can get a Jeffrey Simmons or a Christian Wilkins. And I'm honestly straight on Christian Wilkins, to be completely honest with you. Jeffrey Simmons, yes, but there's going to be a lot of restructures. Y'all know I'm not the biggest Ryan Poles fan, but what does he do well? Saving $1. If there's one thing he know how to do is save $1 and get more draft picks. So that I'm not really concerned with. And even if you let's just say you keep DJ, I personally think that Poles is going to go big fish swimming. And I think when the dust settles, that it's going to be Max Crosby or what's his name, Myles Garrett. I think he's going to go big fish. Don't ask me how. I don't know. But I do believe that you can replace DJ with Duvernay. Get out of here, man. Stop it. Duvernay? DJ Moore with Duvernay. All right, relax. Anyway, but here's also a sensible thing that me and the homie Mikey talked about today. Because Mike Florio said that Chris Jones might be available for Kansas City. Trey Hendrickson is a free agent. Sign him to a reasonable deal, and you can get Chris Jones for the low. That's solid. That's solid, and you add that with Tez. and you're good to go. Like, I'm just personally, look, I'm not mad at anybody call y'all idiots or stuff like that if you want to get rid. I just think getting rid of a guy who was probably your most productive wide receiver is insane business. DJ Moore, Dexter, and Grady Jarrett, bro, who do you think these people are? For Jeffrey Simmons, the Titans will laugh in your face. Like, what are we doing? But anyway, favorite moment of the season, because we got to wrap up because they bringing in a mattress right now. You can hear the dog barking. So, favorite moment of the year, we can wrap this up.
Packers. For me, it was seeing the Packers' faces both times the Bears beat them. The first one after that these mad ass right. The first one after that heave was just great because it's like, yeah, Caleb's dangerous, and it's going to be reality. But of course, they denied it. No, it's fine, because we're gonna see y'all in the playoffs. Yeah, I want to play the Bears. Knocking the Bears out, that'd be great. And then seeing you lose, it's like they took everything from you. The season was a loss because of the Bears. For me, it's like with the Buckeyes this year. Yeah,
By the way, I did answer the question. I said DJ Moore needs him the most. That's why I'm going to end and Caleb Williams needs DJ Moore most.
Right. When it comes to what's like with the Buckeyes, when it came to this season, we didn't do nothing, but we beat Michigan. The monkeys off our back. Jeremiah Smith throwing the birds to the freaking Michigan fans. I was like, that's successful for me because we finally beat them niggas after 4 years of them beating us. So with the Bears, after decades of them smoking us, we beat them twice a year. A winning record against them in the season. That's been forever. And so, yeah, those are my favorite moments easily.
Yeah, I think, not just this season. In the last 12 calendar months, the Bears have beaten the Green Bay Packers 3 times out of the last 4. My favorite moment is the moment that ball landed in Kyler Gordon's hands and it fell. And they sent the Packers home. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is the thing, bro. I understand slander when teams lose, Packers get lost, but I don't believe you can leave. You can laugh at the team that beats you. So anytime Packer fans talk crazy to me, anytime Packers fans talk crazy to y'all, send them the final score of the 2025 NFL wildcard. And that score says Bears 31, Packers 27. Okay, so that's all we got for y'all on the final stream of the season. But we will be doing off-season pods. So they'll be pre-recorded, but we will be doing off-season pods. They will be going to the Patreon first. So if you want to get those right away, subscribe to the Patreon. The link is right in the description box. And excuse my dog, he's going crazy because they're bringing in the mattress right now. So I'm going to wrap this up.
I do want to say
let me just say this real quick. Let me wrap this up. And the QR code's on the screen. $5 for the 79th Halas tier, $10 for the Barbershop Access tier, and you will get the off-season pods before anybody else. Go ahead, Joe.
I did want to say this off-season, I will be doing some review pods. We're just want to go over. Hopefully, me and my homie Steve will come in here. We'll break some things down. We got the All-22. Finally got the software to use the All-22 to appear on the video and show what we're doing. We're going to break down some film, talk about the things we like. Steve is appreciate you, brother. Steve is really, really knowledgeable of football. I hope to get him and a few others I know who play football and just break down some stuff that we like. And then also what I really want to do is I'm hoping through this series that we'll do during the off season, we can help fans who love the game, know football, but want to know a little bit more. I am not like some guru. I know all of the
Flo's Film Room. All right, Tari got the name. Flo's Film Room.
That is fire. There's this IG with this big dude, probably like he was a lineman. He was like, this is the one thing I love about this. They're in 12 personnel, defense lined up. They got a little shell going on here. They're sitting in 4-3. And I'm like, he talks about the game at a deeper level than I do, but I still know the game. So I'm hoping I can introduce some concepts, talk about what does the personnel mean? What does 13 personnel mean? Okay, that means you got a running back, you got 3 tight ends. Hope to go in there. What does 4-3 mean? I'm hoping people know what that is, but you got 4 down linemen, 3 linebackers, and you got 2 corners and you got 2 safeties. Going over things like that and hopefully helping folks understand, and then seeing the things we liked in the game, because the NFL has given fans unprecedented access to football, which was a mistake. Because everybody got all 22. And the moment they see something, even if they don't understand it, think, oh, that was bad. And so if you see Caleb throw that interception that pretty much ends the game, you're thinking, wow, what happened here? But then when you start talking about from Caleb's interview and also what you know about the game, you're like, okay, he expected DJ to come across it underneath being in front of the defender and get the ball rather than over top, because the safety sits in his area, the space he's guarding, and as DJ goes upfield, the safety comes down. And so that's what creates it. And so I'm hoping we can do that. And then also me and Steve are just going to go over some draft picks or some draft prospects, hopefully get some film. This year, I don't have much of a load teaching and also being classes for my PhD. So I have a lot more time this year. And then also the birth of my child is in June. And so I'm hoping to do a lot of stuff in between there, because once that comes out, Scott's going to pretty much handle the vast majority. He handled the vast majority of training camp the last 2 seasons, but it might be all of training camp this season because I'll have a child. But I'm hopeful to do that. So stick around, stay in tune with us. Me and Scott are going to try our best to be active with not only with the Twitter account, but the Instagram account posting. I'm really hoping I bought so much equipment. I'm really hoping to ramp up and produce some more videos, because what are we doing off season? I want you all to have something at least a couple times a month where you can go to, where you can talk.
Yeah, we don't want to leave y'all, stranded till training camp and shit. So right. Even on my personal channel, which you can subscribe to now, link is in the description box and the QR code right here. I'm going to try my best to be now we haven't got an email yet, but what I heard is that Poles and Ben Johnson speak tomorrow. So if they do speak tomorrow, I'm going to try my best to get up there. If Scott will be up there, even if it means I have to give him my car or I got to drop him there, something. Who is coming all the way to where you at to get that car?
I'm coming to you.
Okay, well, that's fine with me. So I will be there tomorrow, and I'll do a recap video and all that. So I will be doing a lot of content, man. All right, my dog is losing his damn mind right now, so I'm gonna wrap this up. You can follow us all our social media platforms at Barberchef Scott, at Flows Andolini. Check out for the recap video this week of the Poles Ben Johnson press conference. And next week we're gonna do a full off-season preview pod. We'll talk about all the things we need to do, man. So from Scott and Flows, we appreciate y'all. Thank you for all your support in the 2025 season. We're gonna holler at y'all.
Hell of a year.
Hell of a year, man. Better.
Since Bobby Ingram, Curtis Ennis, know that we've been loyal way back from the beginning. A trusted source for the news. 79th Halas, what it is, what it do. Since Bobby Ingram, Curtis Ennis, know that we've been loyal even when we wasn't winning. A trusted source for the news. 79th Halas in your ears, you.
Awesome. The Bears.